guys, it's Shara. Once again, I'm back and we are working on this Eeyore, which is a Disney Home Leisure Arts Pooh Little Buddies pattern. It is a thread crochet pattern. I am making him in yarn. I cannot, as much as I would love to be able to, actually go over this entire pattern with you because it is a copyright. How do you say that? Anyway, it is a protected pattern. It is not mine. And I cannot share the whole thing. If anybody can find a way for me to legally do it, I'll be glad to. But for now, I can't. But I've had a request to show about joining the arms. I have not had time to really go through this and practice it since the last one I made, so hopefully this will be relatively clear what I'm doing. And let me see if I can get this camera where you can see a little better. I'm on a little bit of a time crunch because I'm supposed to have this finished by this weekend, so let's see what we're doing. I'm on the joining round now. Says to chain one and turn. Now you'll notice I am not stuffing my guy as I go because I'm using yarn. He's plenty big. Let me find his arm. This is my arm one. And I am to get my yarn here. Says matching my stitches, working through both thicknesses, single crochet in the next 10. So that's not too bad. Let's see. 1, 9, 10. Leave the remaining 14 unworked. Working in the single crochets, okay, then we're going to decrease. Continue to follow your directions across. And before I go to connect that other one, let me see if I have 10 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. My second arm, which you can see I so beautifully labeled here. Put my string pulled to the front. And I am going through both thicknesses. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. And we're going to single crochet this together. And at the end of this, we are going to change to our second color, which in my case is my gray. So I'm going to go ahead and change here. And it says to cut your other color. I'm going to leave myself a pretty good tail here. I prefer to have more rather than less. Leave those 14 on the arm worked. Work a decrease. So basically I'm going to work this round 4 to the end now. My yarn is getting, I'm down to that little last bit of this skein and it's getting all wonky like they like to do sometimes. Okay, this is a counting row, guys, so I am having to count, so forgive my lack of chatter. Two, three, and then we have just the right amount of stitches to do our final decrease. And it says to join with the slip stitch in our first single crochet, which is right over here. Okay, so that is the end of round 4, and our arms are now attached, and it kind of looks like this. You see the lighter colors kind of toward his body and the darker colors kind of on the outside. So now on round 5, goodness guys, excuse me, we are going to chain 1 and turn. Now working back across this gray. Let me see what we do. I haven't tried this in a while, so if I mess up, you'll have to bear with me and I'll come back and try it again. Decrease. So that's pretty easy. 15, skip a single crochet, then 15. May have started one too soon. I'm going to have to check. Nope, that's right. Never mind. I hate it when you do that, second guess yourself, and then realize you were right anyway. Okay. So when I get here, I am to decrease in with my last two. So I have that. So there's across the back of the gray. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops on the hook as the first joining single crochet on the next arm. Okay, so in our last stitch worked, which was this one, and then in our stitch here for the joining, got 3 loops, yarn over and draw through like that, so it almost looks like a decrease, but we're making sure we close that gap there. Single crochet in next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. So we're working around the gray part of his arm, or the dark color, and then single crochet in 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But at this point, we're going to add back in our second color. So we'll finish this one off with it so that that loop, pull that gray or your dark color taut. And we're going to actually do that same thing here where we did the before. We want the three loops on here to pull that stitch tight right there. Whoops, sorry. I pulled that loose. So it says the same stitch. I think here's what I'm going to do to close this, guys, just so you'll see. Can you see what I'm actually doing? I'm going to come in here and catch one and one here and pull it through like this so that I have closed that stitch. Really what I'm after is pulling this tight so that I don't end up with any kind of gap there. And that just gives me another single crochet in there. Then it says 2 single crochet in each of next 2. Oops, I don't like the way that's laying. That gray is loose. Sorry, I told you I've got to get my fingers pulled right on this because I want this to lay flat. So where is that gray end? There it is. pull that taut so it's laying right. Okay, I'll get a long enough tail with that one. Okay. So I'm going to pull up a loop here when where we did our join, and then a loop here in this single crochet so that I have my 3 and it pulls tight, and that looks better. And then we're going to proceed to work our way around the pink, or the lighter color, just like it says. I just happen to be using pink. Got my yarn all tangled, guys. Okay, and you work those 9, and then you're going to do 2 and 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're back to where we are doing that kind of funky 3-stitch close the gap kind of thing here, or 3-loop close the gap kind of thing, but we need to add back on, unfortunately. Never mind, I just didn't cut my thread. So I've got to cut my thread here, come back in here, and rejoin it. There's a lot of cutting and starting and stopping in this thing. And then, of course, our 6. And our decrease. And I'm still just working on these stitches on the front of his arm, or the outside, back, whatever you want to call this, the dark color on his arm. And when I finish up my 6 for the final 6, and I am back here to where my starting single crochet was, I have to remember to do this joining pull together here. I really want to make sure, or make certain, you know, that I actually get that pulled together good. So I am going to catch that in here because I want it to lay kind of smooth, and then join it with a slip stitch, and it says to finish it off. So we're going to finish it off, and with the wrong side facing you, skip the next 33 stitches on the body. Okay guys, on round 6, with the wrong side of his body facing us, which basically means we're kind of looking down into him, And the outside of his body is the right side, the inside is the wrong side. We're going to be starting with his back facing this way. This is arm 2. And we're working on the dark side with the inside facing us. We're going to join with a single crochet and follow our directions across. Once you join that way, it's not that difficult because it's basically what we've been doing the whole time. So I'm going to kind of zoom through this. There's no special stitches or anything. Crochet in the next 2, but changing to the light color. Okay, so we've changed to our light color. And remember, we are working, with the wrong side facing us. Decrease. Single crochet in the next 2, then decrease, pull these stitches a little taut because that's where we joined that yarn, and join with the slip stitch in that initial chain 1 and turn. So as you can see, both of our arms are now joined, and we are going to continue working around 7, 8, and 9, and then we'll actually work a few rows and rounds. I'll bring you back in a little bit because I don't know how much of this I can show you, but I have had a question about how to work the head. So hopefully this will answer the question of how you got it going to get the arms going. And maybe this is clear. I apologize. It's kind of hard to translate it. I almost wish I had you sitting here beside me so I could physically show you. But I will come back in a little while and show you on further down when we get to round 7 where it says head, because I know there was a question about that. I'll come back and show you that part. in a little bit. So hopefully that was as, well, clearer than mud anyway. And again, if you have any more questions, or if something I said wasn't clear, or something I showed wasn't clear, you know, leave me a message down below and let me know. And if this helped, let me know, because I'm trying to figure out the best way to make sure that I do these so they're, you know, reasonably understandable. Thanks for watching, guys.